And we are at Stewart Law Offices with Brent Stewart. Been in business for 30 years, Brent. Can you believe it?
No, I really can't believe it. It's amazing to me that it's been 30 years. I can remember loading up my car. I had everything in a storage unit, loading it in the back of a U-Haul on my own, and moving up to Rock Hill in an efficiency apartment with my then lab, Esther, my first dog, and now I have new labs. I'm a lab lover, by the way. So, but it seems like yesterday, and then it seems like a million years ago. I can't put it all together.
Now, you're here in Beaufort, and why did you pick Beaufort as a location for your offices?
Well, I've always loved Beaufort.
Yes.
Before I started my firm, I was coming from Charleston, and Charleston is the most beautiful city in the world, but it became very busy. It became very busy. Right. And so when looking for an area to start more in the low country, Beaufort just kept coming on my radar. And when I initially started looking, Beaufort was one of those growing markets. Right. And I just kind of fell in love with Beaufort over time. And so we started on Ladies Island, I don't know, 14 years ago, like by appointment only.
Okay.
And then later we ended up buying a building on Rebo and putting our firm here with staff.
Perfect. In another interview, you mentioned the importance of that initial consultation, that face-to-face opportunity, or I guess by phone too, but that opportunity to really get to know a client and what their needs are, what their issues are, before you make that decision to work with that particular client. Let's talk a little bit more about that.
Well, that has become very interesting, and I turned 60 this year, so I have a different opinion of it.
Can I say you're a baby?
So I wish I was a baby, but I have baby lawyers, and they have a whole different opinion as to what.
Which is a great thing.
Every day I learn something from them, and I hope I teach them something as well. But the initial consultation originally, and what I still stick with or beg for, is a face-to-face, a lawyer and the client. I know a lot of other organizations are now letting paralegals or investigators meet people. We are still trying to keep it with a lawyer and face-to-face. But the younger generations, and now I'm starting to sound like my dad, they have a different opinion of what they want. They don't want to come in. They don't want to leave their house a lot. Everybody wants to do things
electronically.
Right. And so I've really had to open my mind to let that happen, so we can do it by Zoom or FaceTime. And if you get me, I will do it by Zoom and FaceTime, but trust me, somebody else is setting it up, because I'm not quite there with the technology yet. But some people want to do DocuSign rather than face-to-face. Right. And then when the case is settled, they want to do DocuSign to get their checks and overnighted. But my preference, whether it's on the phone, by video, in person, is sitting down and having a good conversation in detail about what happened, how it's affecting you, what parts of your body are injured. And the more we get up front, the better it's all going to work on the back end.
Does it take a while for someone to open up? And of course, asking the right question at the right time is critical, probably.
Well, I think kind of reading the person. Like, some people open up immediately and open up maybe too much, you know? Like this, they keep on going. But other people take more time to get things done. And I think that I've kind of found there are two kinds of people. Some people don't want to say what's wrong. They kind of have been taught or raised to be not wanting to be complainers. And those people really have to open up, and what they have to understand is, if you don't tell me what's wrong at the beginning and it comes up 6 months down the road, the insurance carriers are going to not believe that it's tied to that event. So proximity is one of the things that are used to determine what your injuries are. So while nobody wants to complain, and I think people that complain too much look bad on their medical records and look bad to a jury, look bad to the doctors, you want to do a really good job of describing what your injury is. And I think that doing that up front with me, and in fact, in our intake form, we have a piece of paper that says, you've told me X, Y, Z is injured. And I make them sign that, so that if something comes up later, I've done my job to ascertain exactly what's hurt up front.
Yeah, I was wondering how you document that, or do you even record them?
I do it. I don't know if any other firms do it. All of a sudden, maybe 20 years ago, I was like, this is the way to do this, to sit down and make somebody look at it and write it. Right. Because I think people, and I've kind of noticed it on when people do their intake forms with the doctors, they don't do a great history, and then the insurance companies come in and use that history to say, you're not being honest, you're not being honest, the gavel. But so like, I've kind of put that on paper so people can sit down and look and think about it, and I say, listen, if it's not on here, and it comes later, we can probably do something with it. But it's much better to put everything down.
In the beginning.
We can pull it back. Like if you say your knees hurt and in the end it's not so bad, well then it's limited and we can pull that back. But it's easier to pull back than to add.
Okay, very good information. Once again, Brent Stewart with Stewart Law Offices as we talk about that initial consultation. Thank you, Brent.